I played every mod that was released in the first 2 weeks after Half-Life Alyx Workshop came out. That's a total of 64 mods. There are a few good ones amidst the many terrible mods out there, so to make it easier for you, I've compiled them in a list from best to worst. And the categories I've outlined are sick, dude, really cool, cool but lame, and lame. If you're a mod enthusiast, I'd recommend you listen through the whole video. But if you're casual, at least check out the sick dude and really cool categories. Also, before we get started, I'd appreciate some feedback. I don't know if the lame and cool but lame, and maybe even the cool, are even worth noting. It would save a heck of a lot of time for processing, and therefore I could create more content that you guys actually appreciate. So the first category is sick, dude. Crash Course might be the best mod to date. I'm not gonna lie, when I first started playing it, I was not feeling it. It seemed a little janky and I couldn't figure out how to get the pistol out of the glass box. But after I got past the intro, I was digging it hard. I don't want to spoil the mod, so I'm not gonna say too much, but the ending fight to this mod is probably the best fighting I've had in all of Half-Life Alyx. Of course, that is just my opinion, so I don't want to talk it up too much. Zen Thug Warehouse is probably one of the coolest mods I've played so far. It's a wave-based mod set in an enclosed space that is pretty well paced, and even when it gets out of hand, you can still retreat in some places and take cover. The level design is one of the best I've seen so far. You can get resin when you kill enemies, and you can use that resin to get more ammo, grenades, health, etc. I'll definitely be returning to this one on a regular basis. Orange Complex caught my eye immediately. I love the simple, contemporary design and being able to see all the way up into where you're going to go. The atmosphere was really cool here, there were plenty of enemies to shoot, and I really enjoyed the platforming aspects as well. You may not like it as much as I did, but I would definitely recommend trying it. Mindbreak is a pretty cool experience set in a mine. I will say straight off the bat that the FPS on this level sucks. However, if you can get past that, it's a great time. There are some cool scripted events in here, and there are plenty of zombies and headcrabs to shoot. I also like how they implemented music to go along with the gameplay. Jedi Alyx lightsaber training is the most unique mod I've seen so far. It seems like they're constantly adding to it, so I can't wait to see where it goes from here. But it's worth popping in just for a few minutes, playing around with some lightsabers, and living out your childhood fantasies. Garage Master is a custom mini-campaign that's a pretty short sample of basically Half-Life Alyx. I found the level design to be a little bit more Half-Life 2-ish, which was right up my alley. Target Practice is one of my favorite range-style mods so far. It's got some classic setups like shooting bottles and spinning pans. It also has a skeet shooting mechanic, and my favorite part is the grenade toss. I spent a good while here trying to perfect my throws into the various pots, and I think you would enjoy the same. Combine Tower has strong potential to be in the sick dude category, but I'm just saying it's really cool because of a few flaws. The main flaw being that there's no real direction. From the start, I'm not given any goals, and I'm basically just exploring until I find something to do. I think the idea of going back and forth between keycards and key access panels is nice, but it did get annoying towards the end. Despite that, it was a fun experience and I loved the level design. While the interior rooms were bland, the exterior rooms and catwalks were very cool. Contingency is one of the cooler mini-campaigns that I played. I loved the level design, it kind of reminded me of Half-Life 2 a little bit, and the combat was very difficult. So difficult that I had to play one sequence 3 or 4 times. I actually never finished it because I ran out of time, but I definitely plan on going back because it was fun. Headcrab Hell is one of my favorite maps so far. I love the checkered floor with the narrow hallway design. If I were to pick one map that does the horror style very well, it would be this one. I'm kind of sad it ended as quickly as it did, as it was just starting to get interesting in this big, giant platforming room. The weapon playground is a basic area that you can just throw grenades and shoot zombies, etc. It doesn't do much to separate it from the rest of the shooting ranges, but it wasn't the worst. Smash, although simple, is very satisfying just to shoot the boxes. I suppose it could be good target practice if you want something that really explodes when you shoot it. And I'm sure you've seen the sandbox mod referenced before. It's just basically Gary's mod in Half-Life Alyx. Although quite buggy and not that interesting to me, you might find it worth your time if you like spawning in things as you please. The Combine Combat Encounter is made by Valve, and it's basically just a display of what you can do in the workshop. It's very short and sweet, but I like it just because it's simple, and it can give you some ideas for architecture. Cabin in the Woods is a basic horror setting. There are tons of zombies to shoot at, and you can get on the roof and just go to town. In my opinion, there are better versions of this type of mod out there already, but if you can't get enough of this, go for it. The Backyard is an immersive attempt at the horror genre, so if you like shining flashlights on zombies and shooting them, you can't go wrong here, although there is nothing special about the map itself. Combine Combat Sandbox was just another shoot 'em up. I liked the simplistic design on this map, and if you're looking for as many combat experiences as you can get, try this one out. Minigolf is more of a great idea than it is a good mod. If we can get a whole minigolf course going, I would gladly raise this to sick dude. Although the ball doesn't roll perfectly straight, it's just awesome to think that we can have a whole minigolf course in this game. Its cosmetics are also designed really well. Intruder is an interesting mini sequence of the game, and while I don't think that you'll find anything super new in here, it does have a few scripted events that are kind of unique. Holdout is something that I didn't expect to find in Half-Life Alyx. I don't think it looks the best, but it's a very interesting concept to have Combine fighting on your side in a sort of last stand scenario. The most disappointing thing about this mod is that the friendly Combine cannot die apparently, and I think I would have appreciated it more if I was responsible for my teammates' lives. Try this one out, I think you might like it. Survival Waves is an awesome survival wave mod with a pretty cool level design. I wish I could put this in the really cool category, however, the pacing just threw it off way too much. The enemies come in way too slow, and I have no reason to explore the rest of the map. All supplies get dropped in the same place, which can easily be grabbed from your camping spot. Regardless of those criticisms, I definitely recommend trying this one out, and I hope that the creators improve or create something better than this. Although there's nothing super spectacular about Zombie Massacre, it is a cool design to have zombies coming at you down a long corridor. You'll have an opportunity to upgrade your guns, but you'll have to do it quickly before the zombies can reach you. Once you're ready, just plow through the zombies. It's really satisfying. The Long Way Out is basically just combat down a long tunnel. The tunnel looks really cool, and the combat is pretty fun. You don't find this style of combat in many other places in the game, so I think it's pretty unique. I had high hopes for City 17 Breakout. Due to its marketing page, I was deceived into thinking that this was going to be the next coming of Mod Christ. However, while it started okay, I quickly found myself locked into a room, unable to escape, probably due to bad scripting. From the looks of it, I wasn't that interested in playing it anyway, so I just decided to stop there. Could it have been a great mod if I had gotten out of the room? Maybe. You should try it out for yourself. Don't expect a whole lot out of Doom. It's really just a micro level of Combine soldiers, but if you enjoyed Doom, you might want to check out the cosmetics here. PT had a lot of potential to be cool, but there's not much here and it doesn't look very well polished. However, you might get some inspiration from this level. Half-Life Alyx Apartments is pretty lame, there's not much here, and it's mostly just cosmetics. And the same goes for Half-Life 2 Apartments. If you really want to see what Half-Life 2 Apartments look like in Source 2, you can do it here. Portal 2 Speed Ramp is basically just a cosmetic area that you can explore Portal 2. The lighting is cool here, so it's just nice to look at. Dark Street was just a dark street. There's nothing notable about this, but you might pull some inspiration from here. Yellow Tower is an interesting concept. I would like to see the tower grow and have the tiers expanded upon in complexity. But for now, I can't recommend you try this one out because there's nothing that you can do in this one that you can't do in others. Endless Vork Power is a wave-based mod, but unfortunately it doesn't play as well as you might expect. The lightning bolt targeting often locks onto the wrong spot, and it completely kills this mode for me. The Sunset Warehouse is bland, but I do like the backdrop of the sunset through the big window. That's pretty much the only redeeming quality of this map. Otherwise, this map is more of the same. The Snark Apartment is basically just a bunch of snarks in an apartment. Not too much to see here, but they are cute, and you can interact with them. The Maze Simulator is a cool idea, but it is boring. I suppose if this were expanded upon and made more interesting, I would recommend it, but not for now. The foreseen consequences is pretty much just every mod you've ever seen, but lame and short. I'm not going to recommend it, but I can't say it was the worst mod I've ever played. District 7 is very simple, but it looks fantastic. All it is just a little place to walk around in, but the lighting that they've set up in this world is something to be inspired by. Killer Bean Garage is a short but chaotic experience in which you open a door and you have several combines shooting at you already. I think I just spoiled any reason to play this mod, so I can't recommend downloading it anymore. Headcrab Thrower is obviously a goofy mod, but there was something pleasant about tossing headcrabs into some circles. I don't recommend it, but it was interesting enough not to put it in the red zone. 3-gun kill house was pretty neat and something that I would expect to see in a game like Pavlov. Of course it does have that, but if you really wanted to see it in Half-Life Alyx, here it is. Just be aware that it's really short and it won't knock your socks off. Meeting room is obviously just for cosmetics, however, you could potentially pull this as inspiration for your own mods. Shrek's dancing room is, well, Shrek's dancing room. This would be in the lame category if it wasn't for the giant dancing Shrek at the end. The shell sink was just shy of potentially being cool. I thought the huge room with kind of a maze-like concept was interesting, but I didn't find it to be fun at all. I can tell that there was some effort put into it, and there might be some inspiration to pull from here as well. Infestation Control is a very small and compact map that throws you in right in the middle of a fight between the Combine and some zombies. It's over pretty quick, and the combat is intense, but in my opinion, it's not worth downloading. Project 01 shooting range wasn't much of a shooting range, at least from what I saw. You start out in a basement and proceed through some corridors. The corridors are actually kind of interesting that you might find some inspiration from, but I could never find the shooting range. Anyway, check it out if you feel like it, but you're not missing anything if you don't. Key Thrower is a great concept, but implemented in this mod, it is not that great. I love the idea of creating puzzles based around finding keys and figuring out how to use them. However, it's just too short, and what there is not complicated enough. I just can't put the employer mod in the lame zone. Just seeing Gaben's face stretched out on the floor like that is hilarious. Add in the flying G-Man and the flying gnome, and you got yourself a solid experience. It's earned its slot in the lame but cool category. Vitae is nothing special. In fact, it plays like a lot of mediocre mods that I've played in other games. While it is kind of polished, it's just not interesting, and I don't recommend it. Aliens vs. Alyx is a mess. You're thrown into some random war with Combine and aliens, and you can shoot your way through it, or you could just walk straight to the end. There's no accomplishment at the end, it just says the end. As a bonus, the frame rate is trash. Arena is basically every other sandbox style map that you've seen before. Enemies spawn in, you shoot the enemies, they try to fight you back. Nothing new here, but if you like the style, give it a shot. Jeff Zoo is up there with the worst of them. It's pretty much just the Half-Life Alyx campaign of Zoo with Jeffs, which is lame. Fight Night at Sans, I really don't know what to say about this one. You just walk around in some strange place that I'm not familiar with. 10 Doors was very lame. I honestly couldn't even get past this stupid doorknob, so don't even bother with this one. There's not a single thing worth trying about Lost 2. There's no inspiration, no fun. I would avoid this one. There is no escape, looks like more of a concept than a map, and being that there's nothing here but some lights and objects, I can't recommend downloading this one. The Ninja Cube Viewer is awesome. Just kidding. Unless of course you have some weird fascination with Ninja, this is pretty dumb. I had high expectations for the Poop and Pee meter mod. No really, I thought if nothing else this would be funny, but there's nothing funny or interesting here at all. The spoon wall is just a bunch of spoons stacked on each other, and guess what? You shoot the spoons, and they fall to the ground. Didn't see that one coming. I don't have footage for it, but don't play Yo, this map gonna f you up. It sucks. Countryside House is basically just a room with some things that you think you should use in here, but you can't. Stay away from this one. Resident Alyx is an attempt to make a Resident Evil mod for Half-Life Alyx. However, it's extremely short and quite broken as well. It doesn't do anything new, and the atmosphere didn't impress me at all either. Industrial Exploration is also just a cosmetic map. However, there's nothing interesting here. Everything on this map is stuff that we've seen before, and therefore I can't recommend downloading it. Monsters Inc. Scare Floor is pretty lame. There's nothing to do here, you just look around and pretend you're in Monsters Inc. The back rooms is lame, bland, and boring. It doesn't look like there was any effort put into this at all, and I definitely do not recommend downloading it. I think Train Crash was supposed to be a really cool map, but it's just broken. The lighting here is really bad, you can't see anything at all, and the game locks you into a room that you can't get out of. I don't know what's going on here, but until the creators fix it, I just can't recommend it at all. And that's the whole list of all 64 mods. Having played through all of these, I can guarantee the one thing that I would change about any of them is to make it so that my character is fully equipped with all the ammo. It's really annoying starting out a round only to have to pick up 10 or 20 pieces of ammo. One other thing I would change is to have the head crabs stop dropping off the zombies after I kill them. It was happening way too frequently, and it became redundant to kill the zombie and then wait for the head crab to come to life. I hope you found this useful, and I hope you enjoyed it as well. I'll be back next week for a review of this coming week's mods. And as a reminder, please let me know what you think about the lame, cool but lame, and cool categories. I'm still not sure if I want to keep including them. Subscribe for the next review, and until then, we'll be seeing you.